It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey, Steph, how are you doing?
I'm good, Gary. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited to be back. This is a big Wednesday for us because we are just two weeks from now. We will be in Barcelona for the ISE show, which will be the biggest industry trade show since 2019, maybe since 2022, depending on how big it ends up being. But for those of you who don't know, this is our weekly TV show. We come on every week at noon Eastern time, but we are a global show. We're on ravepubs.com. We're also on YouTube on youtube.com/ravepubs. We're on LinkedIn. We're also on Twitter. And my name is Gary K. And my co-host is
my guest. I'm Steph Beckett, and if I was a guest, I would be here a lot.
You'd be a continuous guest. No, actually,
a continuous guest.
This is Steph and my show, and Steph is the editor of all of rAVe properties. And we are also big film fans. Both of us like movies.
We do. We like movies a lot. And I saw a movie last night. I saw that Megan movie that everyone has been talking about. And honestly, okay, it's so bad, but it's like but like do you know when you watch a movie and you're watching it and you're like, this is going to be a popular movie for generations to come
because it's bad?
Because it's like bad, but like in a campy way, like in a fun way.
Yeah.
Like there's like at some point this little evil doll, it's like the same thing as always. That's like technology is evil if we let it control too much of our lives. Like same premise that like all of these movies have. iRobot, all of it. It's the same. But it was just like funnier because it's like this little doll in like this like sassy little outfit. And she's like killing people and stuff. So I don't know. I thought it was really funny. But there's some point where the doll starts singing like Titanium by Sia, like just out of nowhere, just decided that she wanted to sing. And like, I'm just watching this movie and I was like, this is like, people are going to love this forever because it's so bad that it's going to become beloved. So that's what I think.
So should I see it or should I not see it? I'm not sure I understood the review there.
Do you like campy, kind of fun, like stupid movies?
No. I feel like they're wasting my time.
Then you're not going to like it. But I think that like your daughter will like it. I feel like Annabelle will like love it.
Okay. All right. Well,
so
I don't know. I guess I'm on the. I guess I'll see it when it comes out on video. How's that?
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll
honestly, like show it to you. I feel like there's a point in your class where you talk about AI and stuff. Like you should show a clip from that movie in your class. I think.
All right, I'll do that. Yeah. So take out my real. AI section and replace it with Megan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
So what's the point of the 3 being in the name? What was the point of that?
Just for emphasis.
There was no point.
No, it was just the point was like she was like a toy, and it was like a marketing thing to like make it like proof that she was a robot, like to make it clear in the name.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny because it's funny that you say Sia because I'm actually using Sia as an example in my class today, this afternoon.
You always do. I think that you did that when I took your class.
Yeah, that clip of her talking about how she writes music is pretty amazing, right? It's a good clip to show the way that a creative brain works because she's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So what else? Have you seen anything else since last time we were together? I mean, I'll tell you the most thing I'm most excited about is yesterday the trailer for the 3rd season of Mandalorian dropped, and I'm super excited about that. That trailer was very well made, and is definitely going to generate some interest in. And I loved Andor. Andor is a series I totally forgot about this.
What?
Steph, you would love this. There's a series on Netflix called Kaleidoscope.
I've heard about this.
Okay, so it's every person that, well, not every, because there's only a certain number of ways it could be done, but everyone gets so there's, I want to say 10 episodes, and the series has a beginning, middle, and end, but everyone watches them in different order. Like your order is randomized. So you and your friend could be watching it, and you're both on episode 3, but her episode 3 and your episode 3 are totally different.
Yep.
Basically, you can watch the 10 episodes in any order, and the series is still good. It's a really interesting experiment. And in fact, here's what happened to me. I watched the first episode on my Apple TV, and then I downloaded the rest of them and went on an airplane. So then I went on the airplane and could not remember what episode in them. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the episodes list and just figure out, okay, I know I'm on episode 4. Which one is episode 4? Well, they don't have episode numbers.
No, they're all colors.
And then I'm starting to think, did I watch episode 3? And I'm like, what's the name of it? It's like purple. That's the name of it. Like, what's the name of episode 4? Yellow. I mean, it didn't have any logical order. No. So I was like, this is weird. Like, I cannot believe that Netflix made this mistake by not numbering these episodes. Well,
you didn't realize.
Yeah, until ultimately I read about it, and it's an experience. It's an experiment with a TV show to see if if they can make a show, have every episode be standalone, but yet it be a story. It's literally a story that jumps around, and that's how anyway, I highly recommend on Netflix called Kaleidoscope. It's brilliant.
I'm watching. I'm gonna watch it. I think my friends and I all decided we were gonna start with a different color, and all see how it changed our perspectives of the show.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and watch it again in a different order just to see what it's like, because I'm thinking to myself, how would I have watched the ending anywhere in the middle but still appreciated it? But it was amazing. So anyway. Look, we have 3 sponsors that make this happen for us, and we're very appreciative of those sponsors. And they are Aver, Legrand, and obviously Shure. And Aver has a new Frost and Sullivan report that we posted on our website at ravepubs.com that details the MD330 series PTZ camera, which is that new medical grade camera, the one that I showed the demo of stuff where you can disconnect the camera itself from the mount housing, but it's still USB. And we shared that report, and you can scan that QR code and go read that report if you want to see it. It talks about their differentiation and why a medical camera and sort of why they entered that segment of the market. I think you ought to check it out. So scan that QR code and check that out, because they're one of our sponsors, and we can't do this weekly show without our sponsors. But one of the things we're going to do at ISE is we're going to go to ISE and we're going to do something kind of fun, right? We're going to not only I'm hearing myself. Do you hear myself? Do you hear myself?
I keep having to mute it. I don't know what's going on. It's okay. We're having technical difficulties.
I'm gonna mute that and see if that solves that problem there. Let's see if I can do that. There you go. I think I solved that problem now, Steph. So I can definitely hear you. Can you hear me, Steph?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, can you hear me?
So at ISE, we're going to do something different. We're going to do a lot of live broadcasts at ISE. We've always done a lot of video. We go to an ISE show, we shoot 1,500 videos, 1,700 videos. Even in the small show last year, we shot like 1,200 videos, something like that. So we do a lot of videos. But this year we're going to do a lot of live. We're going to try to do a lot of live. So we're going to do as much as we possibly can pull off. Well, one of those guests that's going to be on with us live, I actually asked him to join us today on rAVe TV because he's doing something super special. In addition to managing a few companies actually, and doing some amazing things in our industry, Juan Jose Villa has joined me here on our rAVe TV show. Juan, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you? How are you, Gary?
I'm doing very, very well. And I want to thank you. Now, you're going to join me live, and we'll talk about what you're going to do when you join me live. But the first thing I want to talk about is you do something really cool leading up to ISE, something called Bike Fest. Will you talk about Bike Fest and what the purpose of it is?
Well, yes, Bike Fest is an initiative that we launched last year. I live in Valencia. Valencia is a coast city in the middle of Spain, and not in the north, not in the south, in the middle. And when ISE came to Barcelona, I saw the opportunity to ride to Barcelona biking and go to ISE, and doing this to raise awareness and money for the charities of our industry in the live events. So this year we are raising money for Backup, Stagehand, Music Tech, which are 3 charities organizations in the UK under the support of the We Make Events movement, which I am the responsible here in Spain. And I asked Nikki Reed from Plaza do you think we can do this? And Nikki always say, yes, we can. And we both were mad about organizing this last year. And it was an amazing experience. And unfortunately, the Omicron postpone the ISE, but we did it anyway in the original dates in end of January. And this year we are doing again. Fortunately, ISE is going to happen in the same dates that are the planet. And well, if the weather join us, and as you see now, it's a little bit cold for us, but the weather is nice and the predictions are good. So we are going to ride this year 390 kilometers from Valencia city to Barcelona. And we will arrive on Sunday, the 29th, at the midday, more or less, where we are going to see as much people as we can because they will doing the build-up. And well, we will, at this time, we have some sponsors and also donations. So we already raised over £20,000 for the cause. Wow. So, well, it's a total success. We are about 22 riders finally, and there are some industry legends like Brian Raven, which is the CEO of White Light, that has been recently purchased by DMB, and also Dave Cramp, which is the CEO of Creative Technology, and Chris Cronin, which is the CEO of Total Solutions. Even my father, who is a cycling lover, and he's the CEO of the Quipson Group. So, well, there are some people. It's a nice networking opportunity also. If for everybody that wants to ride, is a lovely experience, and you are having fun for a good cause.
Yeah, and you could scan that QR code and donate now. It's bikefest2023.com. I'm guessing next year's will be bikefest2024.com. But you can click that QR, or you can scan that QR code, and if you want to sponsor, you want to donate. You're going to ride over 300 kilometers in 3 days. That's a heck of a ride. It's an amazing experience. I'm excited because I'm gonna join him in 2024. I've already committed to one that I'm going to do it. I'm excited to participate in it, but I think it's admirable. You started this and you created this idea out of the kind of wanting to give back. I mean, there's no question that the live events industry was decimated during COVID. And I think that's what sparked the idea, is to find a way to give back. You know, your hashtag that you've been promoting is we make events, and you know, all the money goes to helping companies that are having problems. But you yourself are in that market as well, right? I mean, you're the CSO of Quipson and the CSO of Fantech, co-founder of Avify. Obviously, you've been in the industry a long time as well. How are things going in Spain, and how's the market recovering?
Well, yes, as you said, I'm 21 years in the industry, and the last year, as every part of the world has been mad, no? Has been crazy because we had suddenly all the restrictions gone, and there is a lot of things, projects, events. So the shortage of components also make us a little bit difficult to supply the products. And also now we have the big inflation that everybody has. But even all these obstacles, we had one of the greatest year ever. So for the industry, let's see what happened in 2023. I have been speaking with producers, technicians, rental companies, and all of them, at least in Spain, they say that it's going to be a great 2023. So let's see, and I hope they are right.
Yeah. So if, I'm going to put a call out there to Paul Self as well. He's a big writer in our industry. He and I used to work together at AMX. I'm going to see if he'll come with me next year as well. And we have a number of people in my company that also ride as well. So maybe they'll join as well. I'm going to go on right now at bikefest2023.com, and I'm going to make a donation while Steph is doing the next interview we're going to do. But before we get into that, I want to say, hey, thanks, Juan, for not only coming on here, but also for what you're doing for the industry. And Juan has agreed to bring his bike live. So we're going to do a live interview with him at ISE. He's going to bring his bike and show you his bike. His bike is not like the bike you buy at Target or Walmart or anything like that. He has a cool, special bike that he's riding on. I don't know. It only probably weighs like 14, 15 pounds. It's very, very light, but it helps make the ride comfortable. Stay safe out there. Unfortunately, Juan, as you know, it's one of the most dangerous sports in the world, but it's also one of the most exhilarating sports because you get to see the world in a different way. So stay safe, and we'll see you live at the show and live when we do our rAVe TV broadcasts live from the show floor. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much for giving us visibility, and for all the people that are seeing this video now, they are still on time to come. So if they go to bikefest2023.com, they can still join and ride with us for the next week.
Yep. So if you want to do it, go for it. And I'll do it in 2024. In the meantime, again, thank you very much. We will see you on the show floor with that awesome bike. His bike will be in his booth as well. Steph, what do you think about that? Is that cool or what?
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize that it was that light of a bike.
Yeah,
I also don't know much about the biking industry.
Well, carbon fiber, any weight when you're riding long distance matters, right? So a carbon fiber bike is going to weigh, 14, 15, 16, maybe 17 pounds. So it's very, very light. So it helps, make it a little easier when you're riding long distances, but they're very expensive bikes, right?
Yes. I mean, I'm sure they're just giving them away, but that's awesome. That's really exciting. And, I will be there to make sure that you do it in 2024.
I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. Cause what a better way to see the country.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And now, do you know if there are they do the Instagram lives so that I could watch that and see you?
Hey, let's do it.
Do you remember when we used to do that when you would do Escape from Alcatraz, where we would watch the live and be like, oh, there's Gary.
Like in a flash, right? There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up? What up? We got a big news story we dropped yesterday, huh?
Big news story. There is a new organization in our industry called Women in AV IT, or also known as rAVe, which is a nonprofit organization that focuses on supporting women in the AV and IT industries through education, representation, and inclusion. And this new group just dropped yesterday during our Launch and Learn about how to support women in both industries. So you can definitely go to launch.com and rewatch that. It's available on demand. And then we have a special guest who is going to come in and talk to us a little bit more about the organization. But before we do that, we're going to show you a commercial from our sponsor and partner, Shure. All right, so joining me is Brandi Alvarado Miranda, who is a board member for Women in AV IT. Brandi, how's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So first of all, congratulations on forming the new organization. The first thing I wanted to know is tell me a little bit more about how this organization came about.
Gosh, this has been sort of in the works and in talks for a while now. And really, this kind of is due in great part to COVID. COVID, let's face it, didn't do us many favors for this industry at all. And one of the things that we discovered very early on was the fact that, women were leaving the industry, having to take care of your family and homeschooling and all those kinds of things. Plus, surmounted with massive layoffs in our industry,
Yeah.
Women had to seek employment elsewhere, and AV was kind of left behind in the dust. And so, going into COVID, our numbers were about 14 to 17%, depending on which study you looked at.
Yeah.
And of recent, Avixa has put out a study saying that we're about 8 or 9%. And so we've actually kind of declined. And so a group of amazing, powerful women in the industry have gotten together and formed rAVe, Women in AV-IT, to help support and be a more dedicated organization for women in our industry. And so with that in mind, we launched yesterday. Thank you very much for featuring us. And
Yeah.
we look forward to, growing and thriving in this industry.
So, how else did you kind of recognize that there was a hole in what was being served to the women in both industries?
Well, one of the things that we want to focus on is education and also support. So there's a lot of ways that we can, educate and support women in this industry. So one of them is, helping with career advancement, right? Matching people with jobs, helping people get connected, helping people polish up their resumes, helping them become better leaders, and so on and so forth. The other thing is support. Women lack a lot of support, and what that leads to is a lack of confidence, a lack of opportunities, a lack of safety, right? So with those things in mind, rAVe is really dedicating ourselves rather, to education as a main thing, support, mentorship, alliances, and outreach, really. And outreach is also a really huge part of what rAVe is going to be all about. We want to create career pathways for the women of tomorrow in this industry. We'll focus on the women of today, obviously, with what we just talked about, but also creating those pathways to get youth interested in AV. I mean, because let's face it, we all fell into this.
Yeah.
Maybe you were, a musician in your former life, or maybe you did AV in your school or college or what have you. But really, there's not a pathway or curriculum dedicated to this. There is for IT, that's a given, but for AV, we just all really kind of fall into this. And so
Right.
what we want to do is create outreach for the women of tomorrow. So reaching out to youth and getting them interested in this cool industry. And that's a big initiative out of the gate for rAVe.
I know that there are, lots of women's organizations in our industry, but this is the first one that I've seen that is focusing heavily on both AV and IT. So is this organization, as part of it, going to be kind of uniting the women in both industries and, kind of moving toward the AV IT convergence in that way?
Absolutely. We've been talking about this for years now. AV is IT, IT is AV. And really, in my mind and in the board's mind, it's kind of really one and the same. We all kind of really just work on the same sort of parts of a system, right? We just have different titles, truly.
Right.
And so I think, when it comes down to it, we want to be able to bridge the gap between AV and IT. And this is a very intentional, dedicated resource for women on both sides of the fence, so to speak. But not only that, but, one of the other things that we've been asked a lot over the last, 24 hours of us launching is, how are we different and how are we working with other groups? And what I can say is that, we're agnostic. We're Switzerland. We don't want to be competitors of any other women organization out
Right.
there. We actually want to work with them. And really, when it comes down to it, bottom line, if you will, we're all here for the same reason, right? We want to get more representation for women in the industry and support each other. So really, we're looking to partner and make alliances and forge alliances with other women's organizations, like the Avixa Women's Council and and others out there, Women of Digital Signage, in fact. And so, we're looking for those strong partnerships to forward our momentum in this industry and to really get the opportunity to get more representation and move that needle past the 8, 9, 14% that we comprise currently.
That's awesome. So my last question for you is, how can you join, and is anyone eligible regardless of gender identity?
Absolutely. Do not let the women's group sway you. All are welcome, all genders, and even non-gendered as well. We are very all-inclusive and are strictly an inclusive organization. We want our counterparts to champion this organization. You can join by going to womeninavit.org and click join today and sign up to be a member. There's a founding members price of $29 currently, and that'll end April 30th. And we'd love to have you as part of our organization. We're looking for not only members, obviously, but we're also looking for volunteers, people to help serve on certain committees for outreach and other initiatives that we're going to be launching. We're looking for people that want to be mentors and mentees as well. We're also looking for corporate sponsors and, of course, as I mentioned earlier, those strategic alliances that want to partner with our organization as well.
That's awesome. Well, Brandi, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. So I think it's really important.
Thanks for highlighting us. I really appreciate that too. And for all that you and Gary and the rAVe team are doing to support Wave It. Appreciate that.
Of course. Of course. Thanks again for joining, and I'll see you later.
All right. Take care.
All right, going to bring on Gary real quick, and he and I are going to talk very quickly about Legrand. Legrand is another one of our sponsors and partners, and they have shared a blog that we are now sharing with you, just talking about a few of the things Legrand has on the table for ISE 2023. If you are attending, highly recommend going to check out Legrand rAVe. Gary, he's always talking about how Legrand literally has everything. They are a glue company. So we're just kind of shuffling through just a few of the things they're going to be highlighting on their stand. And if you would like to check out more or get a little bit more of a deep dive into a few of these products and solutions, you just have to scan that QR code and it'll take you right to the site.
Yeah, they've got, and obviously their USB cameras and their ePTZ cameras are going to be popular at this year's show because they have kind of a unique feature in that they have not just USB as connectivity, but also HDMI, so and network. So you have the way to connect those up 3 different ways. I think that's kind of unique out there for that price point.
Right.
So yeah, we'll definitely be checking them out. I'm excited about ISE because we're going to see lots of new products and we've got some products on our website. We're sort of slowly building that ISE microsite, which will come out in a few days here now. But we got a lot of new products out there, and you're going to have a chance to see everything that we're doing. And we'll spend a lot of time on next week's rAVe TV talking about ISE and what we're going to do at ISE.
Exactly.
It'll probably be the ISE rAVe TV episode so that you'll be prepared for what we're going to do. But
I wanted to really briefly talk about this new product from Leon Speakers that I'm looking so forward to seeing at the show. This is a new frame bar speaker that is made to accompany specifically the Samsung Frame TV. I love this TV. I talk about it all the time. I go and make a beeline for the Samsung booth at every show. And now that there is a speaker that is made to accompany it, I think that's been like kind of an issue, not an issue with the TV per se, but just an issue in general. The people who want this TV in their house, like they don't want the technology to be super visible. So they're not, you're going to be your customers who want tower speakers or a giant speaker bar like mounted under the TV. Like these people want it to be very seamless with the rest of the decor in their house. So I'm very impressed that Leon Speakers kind of like recognize this, which this is what they're known for, making very aesthetically pleasing, beautiful speakers that don't look like equipment. So I'm very pleased that they partnered and made a speaker that's made to go with it.
Yeah, they have beautiful stuff. I mean, check them out, leonspeakers.com. I'm excited about everything coming up at ISE, but in the meantime, we want you to register for Launch Week 7. That's our big event that we have a couple of times a year. Launch Week 7 is March 6th through 9th. It's going to be 4 days of fun. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have lots of really cool sessions.
Yes.
And I know, Steph, you're particularly excited about your live event Renaissance session, aren't you?
Yes, I was excited. Megan and I kind of brainstormed a lot of the topics for these pieces and panels that we've come up with. And this is one that we came up with together because I was like, look, like there's something really wacky going on with live events right now. Some things are saying it's the Renaissance. Some things are saying it's not. But the bottom line is, and Gary, you mentioned this in your piece, like technology's changed drastically in the past 3 years because it had to, and people no longer look at live events the same way they used to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about everything that's gone into making or goes into making a successful live event in this panel. It's going to be March 9th during rAVe Day at 2:45 Eastern. So I hope you will join. We've got great guests to talk about this, and I'm just excited to pick their brains. That's what I love about Launch Week. I just like to talk to smart people in the industry, pick their brains, get their opinions on different things. So it's going to be great.
There you go. And that's our show for the day. That's our show for this week. We come to you every Wednesday. So check us out next Wednesday. We're going to be very ISE focused. We'll tell you everything that's going on. For those of you who happen to be watching, we have soft launched a new website. So you can go over there and kind of check it out and play with it and let us know what you think. We'll kind of do an official rollout of it once we feel comfortable to make a big deal about it. But it's
in
cool.
beta.
This is something that we've spent a couple of years designing, and there's there's some features in the back end we have not even disclosed yet that are going to make things better for all of us. Steph, I know you spent a lot of time working on it. You must be excited to see it finally up.
Yes, I am. And it's so beautiful. I it's hard to believe like all the couple years of hard work have culminated in something that's finally real. But yes, go and play around on it and see how you like it. We are still making like some updates to like a few of the things, but so far it looks great, and I'm very pleased with it and happy with it.
Good. I am too. So the whole team has done an amazing job. We're updating the app. We've got a new site on the Apple News app as well. We'll bring more of that information to you a little bit later on. But in the meantime, this is Gary K and Steph Beckett saying thanks for watching. You can see all of our rAVe TV episodes at ravepubs.com. Click on the rAVe TV link, and you can see an archive of all those episodes. Or, of course, you can always go to youtube.com/ravepubs. Thank you.
Exactly. We'll see you next time.
It's the weekly show about rAVe with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary.